How many, if the U.S. got in a real deal boots on the ground war with multiple countries, like how many do you think we could win? Like I'm going to list countries and you tell me when this aggregate amount of countries.
So let me go first because I think the United States can beat the entire planet by themselves.
No, that's not true.
There's a whole YouTube video about it.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, go to
some fucking some retard on YouTube with like fucking bullshit graphics was like, how the US can win against the whole world. Step one, be an idiot on YouTube. Like, step one, be a fucking mouth breathing retard online that uses fucking
God, someone used us as a source in an argument that they won.
No, it's that Binkoff's Battlegrounds channel. That's all
says
they do.
Here, Michelle Obama's the hottest first wife.
Hi, welcome to US is the best military on earth channel. And here's 10 reasons why we're the best and we could beat China, Russia, England, France, Germany, South Africa, Nigeria.
Counting a lot of countries that don't matter because they can't come over.
Every country on earth would butt fuck us, dude. Like that's that's laughable. That
you should watch the video.
Well, wait. Are we defensive or offensive?
If we're playing against the whole world, we're going to be on the defensive.
Okay, so how do they get us?
China land invasion. Russia has
land invasion.
The United Kingdom has an air force.
Let's start at your first country. China land invasion. So they're going to pile in boats and cross the Pacific Ocean. At no point will the most powerful navy ever will ignore.
Thank God the most powerful navy won't have other things on its plate like Saudi Arabia and Russia and India.
What would Saudi Arabia do? How would the Saudis get here, Taylor?
India, China.
They have no way to get here.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. We are the people who are able to land in another country with an entire army full of tanks and everything that supports them and all those battle groups. No one else does that or can.
Dude, a global war, we straight up don't have goods. We have no manufacturing. We will not win. Like that's insane to think the U.S. can win.
We can beat the rest of the country.
We want to shift to a wartime economy.
But here's the thing that's true: we have like 11 aircraft carriers, and the rest of the planet combined has what, 3?
Yeah, but they're not as good as ours.
And they're not as good as ours.
And the Russian one and the Chinese one don't count.
That's true.
I think the Russian one's broken or gone.
It's broken, and the Chinese one is a Russian one, and it has a ramp on the end.
Now, do you think that China might make a lot more if they started a war with the U.S.?
They're going to be manufacturing things while they fight us.
Yes, why would we allow a huge amount of manufacturing happening during war?
When the Cold War kind of petered out, they took all those nuclear submarines, the ones that were carrying ICBMs, and they converted like half of them to missile submarines. So each of them carries 140 Tomahawk cruise missiles. They're scattered across the planet in the water. Nobody knows where. Lately, we've been doing this thing where we surface just to freak people out. Why? How would they have any manufacturing? How are they going to be producing new arms? And I keep going back to this. They have to get here. They have to get here.
I mean, as far as manufacturing, they have more manufacturing capability than
I think Kyle's saying we'll quickly reverse that. Like we have submarines off the coast of China, and we'll take out their whatever
their infrastructure, their electricity
best
grid.
manufacturing.
But now we're like, I don't know. But
we invented the internet. I bet we're capable of some pretty good technological.
We don't make most of the shit we need.
We make we've shifted to making most of our electronics.
You think that we get total embargoed from every other country and we are able to fight? Like, no, our economy gets destroyed. Our ability to import goods, precious metals, services from other places. That we need to be able to make these electronics. Where are we getting these precious metals now? South Africa, we're at war with them. Russia, we're at war with them. India, we're at war with them. Nigeria, we're at war. Like, we wouldn't have the raw capacity for it. Canada's at war with us. Like that, everyone's at war with us.
Come on! Oh no! Now we're fucked.
No, I think
I'm saying that. I was saying more. Even Canada. Like
you're gonna.
The Mounties are gonna take Maine when we're distracted.
To me, you just keep coming back to this situation where their missiles won't work. They can't get here because there's no way we allow boats full of people to cross the Pacific Ocean. Hawaii's in the middle. Like the entire Pacific fleet's there.
That's true. Hawaii's never been attacked.
There isn't. if you took all the navies of the world, ours still wins, like way easy. They don't get to use the water. We take the water right away.
The way
water's
that
ours.
manufacturing in wartime works is not you start a war with a net amount of stuff. It's not
World War II, Taylor. We don't need to make new planes. We're not going to be losing that many. We're here defensively. They're coming to us.
We're not gonna win a war against the world defensively. Like, you have to conquer the world. That's what we
have to make them. We have to make them surrender.
I feel like lots of people would,
like all our wars.
That's how Afghanistan and Iraq.
I guess it comes down to, like, I was in my question, I was meaning, like, if we're taking on the world as the U.S., a win is not the U.S. maintaining itself. The win would be defeating the world.
We would defeat them. They would surrender. Because
that's not China anymore. That's the 78th state.
I think the United States would defeat the entire world and they would surrender.
Do we own their land afterwards, or do they just say, never mind?
I mean, there'd be a negotiated peace, right? They'd have to make us financially right, and there'd be some trade agreements agreed upon. Whatever we allow.
Oh, shit. So you're not going for just they decide attacking was a bad idea.
Oh, it was a very bad idea.
Well, okay, I guess, but stopping there. Like, one way to win the war would be for them to be like, you know what? We're done attacking. This sucked. We have so much deaths. Our economy's terrible. Let's just go back to where we were before. That'd be a win.
Yeah, I don't think we would.
But not in this scenario.
Go with that.
I'm meaning,
okay.
like
you want a more.
This is like at the end of it. China is the United States, and I don't think there's any way the U.S. is strong enough to conquer the world. There's just no way.
Well, the conquering thing, of course, I don't see our army sweeping the globe like a video game and just being over everyone, making a one world government under the American flag. I don't think anybody can do that. What I'm saying is, if the world all declared war on us and they had to come here and make us surrender, they couldn't. Maybe with nuclear weapons, we could all die together. But if we take nuclear weapons off the table. But
well, that's a draw, actually. Yeah, that would be a draw.
But if you take nuclear weapons off the table, I just don't think the entire world can get here. You're like, the Saudis. Oh, yeah, those guys.
Economically, they can destroy us.
So we go to a wartime economy and establish martial law when it's us versus the planet. There's no more economy or anything like that. The federal government.
Well, there is. Everything. You need goods. You need like funds moving around. You need to be
all federalized. Everything would be federalized.
And as soon as we go to war with the world, the dollar is destroyed because
Why would we care what the dollar does? The dollar would be very stable because it's traded in one place, right here in the homeland.
No,
all those dollars out there
and Venezuela and all these countries took oil
because most of them exist outside this country, wouldn't be in play anymore. I'm telling you, it's a different scenario if you're talking about the United States being defensive against the whole world. The economy is not going to matter. There isn't an economy. It's martial law. We're working to live. We're fighting for our lives.
No, but there is an economy. It's about being able to import sufficient goods to keep the everyday maintenance of complex systems moving. And when that fails, you have infrastructure problems in the homeland. Like, it would not take that long for the U.S. if we're waging war across the world to be fucked.
We're not waging war across the world again. We're fighting this defensive war where they're dropping like flies as our border getting swatted like a bug zapper.
Even so, like we
what do we need to make? Like, what do we need? So semiconductors,
guns, bullets, fucking food.
All right. Now you've lost. Now we're gonna run out of guns and bullets.
We're gonna run out of materials because we don't
number one importer
everything
of those things.
Here.
What do we need? Like, specifically, not oil. We're one of the biggest.
The chips that are currently made in Taiwan.
We need the chips that are made in Taiwan. We need the metals to make the chips that are not mined in the U.S. We need huge amounts of goods.
We need lithium for our electric cars.
We need the lithium. We need that lithium. The Sudan mine or whatever.
I'm just not buying it, and I don't see a scenario in which we couldn't go get the things we wanted by force if we wanted to. That's what that'd
be fun. You see a shipment of lithium and you just make it come here.
Yeah, you
just take it. Meanwhile, the rest of the world, where you're not invading at the time, their economy's fine.
We're not
they're
invading
able
anywhere.
To produce and manufacture.
No, they're not. I think you're underestimating how scary the United States military is and the power that we would have economically if we disappeared from the planet and the dollar disappeared from the planet. And I don't know what we could do as far as the cyber attacks, but you would imagine that we're pretty crucial to the world internet system. And I think we win. I don't think they can get us. I don't think they can get here.
I think defensively we win. Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the Canadians. There's not enough.
There's something about. I watched a YouTube video again, Taylor.
Everybody gives back.
But I think even Taylor would agree with it. It talked about how hard the U.S. is to invade, and part of it, in fairness, was that Canada and Mexico are allies.
Mhm.
But then another part of it was like, man, the way that the Mississippi River splits it makes it hard to cross. It makes it easy for us to transport goods and materials up and down, like as a waterway. Apparently, the Rocky Mountains and the coast. It just we have
the interstate highway system is built for this purpose. It is
geographically
built for the
we
purpose.
present a bigger problem than many countries get. Like Russia, for example, one of the reasons they're doing this whole Ukraine thing is they're very easy to invade from the West,
Mhm.
and they feel
about to get
vulnerable
worse.
from that side. Yeah, they feel vulnerable from that side. Whereas America, assuming Mexico and Canada are our friends, very hard to invade.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are some countries that just are difficult to invade. Like Iran is a good example. They're entirely surrounded by mountains. I was
And,
reading like the US did like a war game like prediction of what a boots on the ground war would look like in Iran, and they stopped the war game prediction after like 2 days because of how many losses America would have. They're like, "Oh, this is not doable. No, we cannot have a land war in fucking Iran."
Yeah,
because
Did you
Iran
see
is
the papers? Did Trump wave them around, or Iran attack planes?
Yeah. To be
This is
fair,
like
he had
20 years
added
ago.
some Sharpie to it, and it made the Americans much taller.
dude, a lot of people think like Iran is like Iraq or like what Iraq is now. It's like no, Iran's much more real deal a country than modern Iraq.
Yeah, I don't really know. I see both sides of it. I see like
They have Russian support.
they're much more like westernized than you think, and they've got a great economy and they're educated and all that stuff. And then you see like it's Sharia law, how do you pronounce Sharia law, and a religious government, and they're kind of backwards and they hate women. And I'm like, I don't know what the truth is.
I don't think they hate women over there in Iran.
I think it's like a little bit. I think both. I think
They're
there's
There's a little bit of
iffy on women. Let's
misogyny
just
going on there.
Yeah,
agree on that.
yeah.
Are
Saudi
they
Arabia,
a burqa country?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're definitely a hijab
Saudi
country.
Arabia has
They've
a
been-
lot of issues with I think women just
And
got
no
the
Saudi
right to
Arabia burqa
thrive.
company.
Yeah.
Not
Target
burqa
country.
either. And they're not. You're thinking a hijab, not burqa. Burqa's the full outfit where
Yeah.
you like can't even
Mm.
see out.
Yeah.
No, I think that's Saudi Arabia.
We've been having
That's
huge-
Afghanistan.
have you
Saudi
been paying
Arabia is
attention
fine
to-
with a hijab.
Oh,
where you
okay.
just have the head covering.
I've been watching Philip DeFranco's videos on it, but on the Saudi-U.S. relations are very poor right now. We're apparently warming up to the Venezuelans, and I see that the Saudis are cutting the oil production again. Right? They're not
Mhm.
happy with the Western countries using their strategic reserves to manipulate the price, and also we're making a lot of oil. I'm sure, despite what Biden has done. And they're cutting production again by, I don't know, another 1 billion barrels or something
Are
like
they still
that.
threatening to sell it on the ruble and the Chinese fucking dollar, whatever, the yuan?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I know we've threatened them a lot. With their military, because most of their planes are our planes. So if we cut off that part supply, part of the whole thing, this whole Ukraine thing is interesting is because it's like Android and Apple, right? That's how the arms are in the world right
I
now,
like this
more or
analogy.
less. There's France and Korea, but
Fucking Apple.
it's Android and Apple. And the
Yeah,
United States
there's
is Apple.
Windows phones that come from France, but who gives a fuck? They're
Yeah.
not a real
Fuck that.
player.
Fuck that. That's not compatible with either of them.
Linux.
So the
Yeah.
Western guys, the United States, we make these Apple phones. The Russians, they've got this fucking Androids. And if you're Saudi Arabia or India or Pakistan, you have to pick because
Can I
you
add
want
to
all your
this?
shit to work together. Yeah.
And the US stuff tends to be really technologically advanced, but maybe fragile by comparison. Takes a little more expertise
Training.
to maintain them.
Yeah.
And the Russian stuff tends to be just sort of simple, strong, and durable and tough. And if you were to ask me 3 years ago which one's better, I'd shrug. But now they've been tested.
Russian stuff's like the
Yeah.
flip phone, man.
Yeah.
I had a flip phone that just I said I would upgrade when it broke. I didn't upgrade that fucking phone until like 2013. And it never broke is the fucking thing. Like it died one time and came back to life, actually.
Sorry, Kyle. I think I threw you off your groove.
No, you're perfect. But like
Yeah.
one of the things, one of the ways that the United States exerts its powers on countries is, hey, wouldn't you like a bunch of F-16s? That could be your Air Force. Our shit is good. You've seen them in action. Like, yeah, Yeah, we can afford 200 million of them. Then a few years pass, and
here's both.
A few years pass, and they do something we don't like. Oh, did you stop that oil vessel? Are you cutting down on your production of oil? Are you supporting this religious group that secretly funds Hamas? No more carburetors for you. No more carburetors for those F-16. Or F-16s don't have carburetors, but
I'm working with it.
No more F-16 carburetors for you. And they're like, whoa. These things go through a carburetor every fucking week. What are you talking about? We won't have an Air Force. I'm sure you can get some new carburetors somewhere. No, you're the only people who make carburetors for F-16s. I'll let that vessel go. Stop funding Hamas.
Our military does like the HP Inc. strategy, where it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Does your tank not work, dummy? Because now
there's another part. Now we know which one's better. Now we know these Russian things. They're getting butt fucked by Ukraine. Like that, dude. That's not supposed to happen. When your tanks are so bad that they're losing to Ukraine, against our tanks or our javelins or whatever. That's a bad look. Now, if I'm India, I don't want to buy the Russian stuff. It's been tested. It's not the good stuff.
Yeah, I saw a lot of.
It seems like American weapons manufacturers round down. I love that.
Yeah.
What's the range on your missile? Call it 50 miles. It's 180.
Yeah. We saw that with so the Russians had these supersonic missiles, and we had the Patriot system. And the Russians are like, it goes like Mach 5. And it goes like Mach 1. And we're like, the Patriot? Yeah, we could probably never take out one of those, but it can. And then it gets tested. And we start shooting down these supersonic missiles. And the Russian scientist, did he get executed? Or what the fuck
happened?
There were
2 or 3 of them that they snatched up. And right after, there was a night where half a dozen of those hypersonic missiles got shot down. And then immediately 2 or 3 Russian scientists who were on that program got locked up. They said they were getting locked up because they had sold secrets to China. But that might have, my guess, and this is just me, my Tom Clancy brain is, they were like, what the fuck? Dimitri said the missiles worked right. Look into him. And they found out that, you've been talking to Chang over there, huh? Well, you were on my list anyway. And now he's gone.
Was that I think you mentioned this before, where that was the story where like the scientists were lying about the capabilities of it, of like, this can do this fast, it can take out this in the air, and then they test it and it can't do any of that shit.
Presumably,
we round down.
Putin is the guy who was out there. He's been doing it for like years now, maybe 10 years when they first came out with that missile, and he's like, in a word, it is the perfect weapon. It cannot be intercepted.
Perfect. It is as good a weapon as I am at ice hockey. Have you not seen clip? I dangle right past Alex Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin, best player in the world. He says, I can't guard Putin. Like, that would be, is there a clip of that? I would love to see a clip of like Alex Ovechkin, like pretending, like, what do I do? Oh, fuck. I tried.